Hey, what's up everybody? Justin Ryder here. I'm a commercial real estate broker and content creator based out of Lexington, Kentucky, and welcome to this YouTube channel. I am thrilled to announce today and super pumped to tell you that my co-host Sean Ward, who's a commercial real estate pro and a good buddy of mine, we have officially launched a podcast experience for you. It's live, it's out there, it's called Sales Life, and you can find it right now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, basically wherever you get your podcast. So before you go to the link in the show description to check it out, which I encourage you to, I wanted to make this video to discuss very quickly 5 things that are sort of a producer's view, sort of a behind the scenes view of this show. First of all, why we're doing it. And second of all, the current state of podcasting and why I think it's such a cool opportunity. Number one, I don't know about you, but I love the dynamic of conversation and two people riffing, discussing something. I personally fill my transition spaces in life, call it the commute to the office or driving from the office home to decompress a little bit. Literally, I use podcasts to kind of wake me up in the morning because as soon as I turn it on and hear people talking, it sort of stimulates my brain, gets me thinking, and I love it. But if we're honest with each other, that is sacred space. Like when you put your AirPods in and you're walking your dog and you're listening to conversation, that's kind of a pretty intimate moment because it's like, it's only your AirPods and your surroundings, and it sort of fills this space. Or maybe you're on an exercise bike or doing a workout. I think we'd all agree that that's a super cool space in media. That's sort of in between time. And Sean and I wanted to produce something for the sales warrior to potentially take up some of that time. Of course, if you're considering becoming a listener or watcher, we take that very seriously and it's a privilege. What's amazing is regular podcast listeners reach 500 million people by the end of 2024. That is amazing. Almost half of Americans 12 years of age or more have listened to a podcast in the last year. So it's a medium totally worth exploring. And look, you're on YouTube, I don't need to tell you. The second thing I wanna say, and the thing I do need to tell you, is that Sales Life is sort of a pinch me moment. Why is it a pinch me moment? Because I started looking around LinkedIn in 2019 and reading who was doing what in the commercial real estate brokerage space. And I immediately found Sean Ward, who's one of the most followed commercial real estate people, one of our industry's most prominent thought leaders, and a super skilled writer and accomplished broker. Now, Sean would literally despise me saying this and would ask me to delete this part, but he can't. And I'm just gonna say this. It is unbelievable to work with someone that makes you sharper with every conversation you had. Those are the most important and strategic relationships that you can have in life. Someone that literally makes you better. Guys, doing this with Sean, it's a pinch me moment. Being able to add to his life and him adding to mine, which I've already learned so much, is really humbling. It's an honor. We don't even know where it can go. Like the creative partnership, like this is just the beginning. And I'm just telling you, just being real with you, that's probably the coolest part about this project. And that friendship that's building, we're literally inviting other sales professionals and people in our industry and outside of our industry. We're inviting people into it. I mean, this podcast is unedited, it's raw. We ask each other the tough questions. We let there be silence in space. It's not a production as much as it truly is a conversation, which I just think is a very cool concept for today. And again, thank you for listening. It's humbling to know people are listening, but I would listen to something like this and do. This just happens to be sort of who we are and what we're doing. Okay, where does Sales Life fit in the big picture of commercial real estate podcasts, whether it be audio or video? We would not want to do this without being able to make something unique and something different. And what I see Sales Life doing is complementing a host of shows in the commercial real estate space that are incredible. Guys, there's amazing products out there. I mean, I'll just go ahead and name them. Some of the shows that have influenced me, like Trepwire podcast, all about leverage and debt, talking structured finance, lending. The first commercial real estate podcast I ever listened to was the Fort podcast by Chris Powers. Learned a ton from his interviews about entrepreneurship, real estate, technology, investing. By the way, if Chris were to ever see this, my favorite episodes have been with him and his co-founder talking about the company, just because I love inside scoop type stuff. Let's keep going. Commercial Real Estate Secrets with Aviva, podcast that uncovers strategies and insights into the commercial real estate sector. Aviva, awesome personality, great show. I'm actually gonna be a guest on there coming up soon, which will be fun. And most recently, Commercially Speaking, which I had the opportunity to be a guest on with the Barron Bros, Bo and Timmy Barron. And that's like a commercial real estate 101, 201, definitely gets more complex, but it's entertaining and informative because of Bo and Timmy together. Could we offer something different in all that? I think we're gonna do some things that other people are doing, because you can't reinvent the wheel. But I also think that we'll be distinguished by just having an ongoing conversation about breaking mental barriers and really tackling this industry, which is consuming and competitive, and where we both want to be successful. We want to do it in a way where, like Sean says, you don't lose your soul in the process. It's kind of the conversation you'd have on a Saturday if you've had a tough sort of battle-ready week and you sit down with a good friend and you look back and you kind of say, here's what I've learned about this week and here's how I'm trying to grow. What do you think? Right? So we really do. We had the conversation Saturday over coffee just to give you the inside scoop. So will it touch on commercial real estate stuff in general? Absolutely. We have an episode coming up on how to get hired in commercial real estate, which is about as commercial real estate as you can get. We released a short episode today that was a bit of an experiment. Again, very much experimenting with the format. That was about ripping up your sales plan and or making one depending on where you're at in your career. So I think it'll cover a wide gambit. And I would just say to you, the promise to the listener, authenticity, integrity, and we're gonna figure out what really works. It's gonna be a director's cut to the sales life. Okay, fourth, and this is very important, right? Because I'll never forget, there was a couple years ago, strip mall guy, Don Tepman, tweeted out, I'm running out of friends without podcast. And it was literally like an LOL type tweet for me. I mean, that is just genius. Like, it feels today like everyone has a podcast. And so you might even be thinking, come on guys, this is cliche, like you're starting a podcast. Well, again, love the medium, but the stats aren't exactly what they appear, okay? So there are, based on my research, 3.3 million podcasts out there in the world, and that's a lot. But here's the catch. 44% of those shows have produced less than 3 episodes, okay? So a significant number of podcasts start but do not continue. In fact, only 20% have produced an episode in the last 90 days. Starting a podcast is not rare. Continuing and being consistent looks to be extremely rare. What do you think? If you have thoughts on compelling podcasts, maybe in the commercial real estate space or otherwise, drop them below in the comments. Would love to hear an edge that you think can be gained in this industry. Seriously, drop it below. I'm all ears. Okay, lastly, what is the future of this show? Justin, do you have grand plans for what it's gonna be? I would tell you, and I think I speak for Sean when I say this, we don't know the future of the show. I have no clue. What I do know is that it's an experience that we're really enjoying. And honestly, based on the views and the traction, which there have been people out there that have been super kind to already provide us feedback and encourage people to listen, and that means the world. In fact, I would characterize the reception that we've gotten on LinkedIn and Twitter and that sort of thing as simply supportive. Like, it's felt like the community is kind of saying, yeah, this is a conversation that we'd love to hear. Go ahead and have it. That gives us creative freedom and encouragement to sort of dive in, but what's the future of it long term? I don't know. It's very early. It's very early. But I do know we're committed to making 25 episodes. We don't want to be a cliche and make 3 and be done. We're gonna make at least 25 in 25, which is a goal. That's where you come in. If you're still watching this video, do me a favor. If you subscribe and you sort of like what you hear, or you stumble upon some growth and it helps you or encourages you, leave us a review of the show. It really helps people find it. And shoot me a DM or shoot Sean a DM and let us know what's really working. And even tell us, here's what's not working. You know, we're fine. Our wives love us. We'll listen to any constructive criticism or feedback that you have. But like I said, it's early, but we're pretty encouraged and even more encouraged as people like you listen and provide feedback. So the podcast, Sales Life, my friends, it's live. Check it out. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we will catch you in the next one.